I think you know this about me now, in talking about kids, their attitude, their demeanor. He's a kid that plays with an absolute chip on his shoulder. And part of that has to do with all these other guys that we talked about. Monty Bates, who, obviously he plays in the summer. He plays with these guys in the summer, so it's not like, he respects their game. But it's like, all the attention is going their way. He's a little bit off the beaten path out in Mount Clemens, right? So maybe not as many people know about him, but he'll tell you. And he said, look, I'm the most underrated player in this country. And I'm going to show people that when they see me, they're going to know that's a ball player right there. He said, I call myself Baby Kawhi. And I get that. Not saying he's going to be the next Kawhi Leonard, but I get that. He's 6'5", he's 200. He is a willing and able defender, but he can get you buckets, and he's an athletic guy. He was a football guy growing up. So he brings that sort of football mentality, athleticism to the basketball floor as well, and he's skilled, but I really like the mentality that he adds to the equation as well. And I truly believe that were it not for the recruiting shutdown, we would be talking about JaVaughn Hannah being in line for a Michigan and maybe even a Michigan State offer here during the spring, if not the summer, live period. Now it might have to wait until during the season, so more of the coaches, namely Javon Howard, can get out and see him more. But, man, I think this guy is a top talent, one of the top talents in the state. He already has DePaul, Washington State, Texas A&M, his offers we talked about before. This is a guy to keep an eye on. I wanted to elaborate on him this week and be on the lookout for more on him on the MichiganInsider.com later on in the week.
Yeah, if you're a member of the site and you're listening to this podcast, I was asked earlier this week, even if he's behind a guy like Amani and a Ty Rodgers, you'd think that he'd be appropriately placed in terms of, his scouting. But you gotta keep in mind, what the times we're living in. We're living in this, coronavirus time that's, shut everything down. I mean, the summer, not just for our outlet, but for every recruiting outlet, it's an important time for, kids to be seen by analysts and scouts and schools and things like that. Right. It won't stop college programs from, finding these kids, but it certainly hurts from a, scouting and, viewership in terms of, the social media and things like that, AAU ball, it all plays into, the part of the recruiting process of a kid because, people pay attention to that. Colleges pay attention to that. So, it definitely hurts a guy like JaVaughn Hannah, who would probably be rated pretty highly if, there was a summer basketball session to
I agree. I think that kid's ranking, he's going to be a 4-star guy before all is said and done. I think he's going to be definitely one of the top kids in the state and one of the top kids in the region. He is a name to watch. We spent maybe, a couple minutes talking about him. He deserves more than a couple minutes. Make it seem like, he's just another guy in state. He's not. He's a really good prospect, which is why we needed to hit on him again. Be sure to check out what we have on JaVaughn coming up later on here this week.